Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you. Welcome to World EX Season 2. This is round 3. We are live from Le Mans and hosted by the TK9 E-SPeeD as we race for the climate with the World EX Championship. And we can see the team space then brought to you by TK9 E-SPeeD here. And what a wonderful photograph that is of Tom Kristensen, then, of course, team principal of the team tonight, represented by Oscar Kristensen and also Lasse Sorensen. Loving this space. Here is the lineup of drivers then with Lasse Sorensen and Elliot Veyron. Also Oscar Kristensen, Mikael Niemas, welcome. Bruno Senna, Rafael Labato, Zeifi Lee, Alan Terzic, Thomas Schmidt, Rory McDuff, Devin Browner, Chris Overend, Sebastian Saavedra, Nico Müller, Nicholas Hillebrand, Jiri Toman, Beitski Visser, and Jack Keithley. What a lineup of top drivers we have to compete across this French EX Prix here at Le Mans as we look at the Danish Dynamite car now. And good evening, Mike Rockenfeller alongside me.
Hey, Dave. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Yes, it is going to be, I have to say, a big get well soon to Martin Kumaro, who can't be with us this evening because he's feeling a bit poorly, but I know that he will be watching us. So we wish him well, and we wish him back in front of a microphone very, very soon. So get well soon, Martin. And yeah, very much looking forward to this here at Le Mans. Going to be something very, very special. You and I have had the benefit of seeing both free practice and also qualifying, which was exciting in its own right. Also going to hear from Louisa Scott now, who is with us virtually.
Hi guys, and hello from Sweden. I'm here in this wonderful green nature, and yeah, unfortunately I can't take part on today's race. I'm on my way to Heures. You know it maybe from the World Rallycross Championship. I will be there this weekend to have a look on their new fully electric vehicle. So have fun today, show Mr. Le Mans who's boss, and I will be back for you in Maastricht. See you there, bye.
Seeing Louisa back as well. Now, when it comes to this place, Mike, there's kind of only one person that can give us the ultimate guide to Le Mans, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's Uncle Tom.
Welcome at Le Mans, the 24-hour circuit, 13.629 kilometers long. We are on board Little Viking, 9 is fine, driven by Oscar Kristensen, my lovely nephew. No respect for the painted curbs on the outside, a little bit more on the apex though. Gonna hit you fast. Well done at Dunlop 1-2, accelerating out, being quite smooth on the throttle. The car is dancing a bit, slipping and sliding. Fast hands into the SS, using the bank on the left. Over the crest, the car gets a bit light, coming out of the SS into Tertre Rouge. A little bit too aggressive in, a little bit too slow on the throttle there, Oscar. Heading on to the fastest straights of Le Mans 24 hours. Down at the Hunadier to the first chicane. Top speed reads more than 360, 361, 362. Looking for the braking point. Try to be super aggressive. Let the car a little bit light on throttle again. Direction change coming out of the car. It's very low downforce here to be able to reach these top speeds as fast as possible. In the middle part of the Hunadier down to the second chicane, the Michelin chicane, which is a little bit more neat. But still, lift and coast a little bit, please. Not much. Aggressive Oscar here coming in. Nicely done. A little bit late on throttle, but nicely done. Aggressive in. Good smooth coming out. The car is the circuit is very modern now with a lot of asphalt in the runoff areas, wider curves and flatter curbs. And the same we will see here. Braking, a little bit fast hands. Catching the oversteer, braking into Mulsanne corner, one of the slowest part of the track, using a lot of curb, coming out of Mulsanne corner, setting you up now, passing 8 kilometers already done on this iconic circuit. First kink down towards Indianapolis. This is a Mulsanne straight, coming into Indy 1 now. Lifting and braking a little bit too aggressive again. Running a little wide, but still nicely catched by Oscar, our young teenager, my nephew to be, and the slowest corner here, Danish. Getting a little aggressive there. Wait, the green, not so much traction there, Oscar. You're aggressive, but lovely aggressive. You will be a good lap coming into the real boys' corners now. Porsche. Well done. Smoothly in. Try really to be early on the throttle so you can carry that momentum through. Now the Maison Blanc, the long right-hander, has a little bit of bank going into karting, which can bite as it's off bank and slide a bit over the wider tarmac there. The circuit is obviously piff-puff, is with the flatter curbs, faster today than ever. Into the Ford Chicane 1. Oh yeah, you were a little bit lovely taken there. There you could be a little bit more aggressive going into the second part, but nevertheless, what a lap by Oscar Kristensen. I'm proud of you, and good luck to everyone at the French EX Prix.
Thank you very much to Tom Kristensen. Here the result from qualifying then. Lasse Sørensen, P1, a 3:07.236 ahead of Jiri Toman, a 3:07.263. Just 3/100ths between P1 and P2. Then it was Devin Browner, Jack Keithley, Rory McDuff, Beitski Visa, Elliot Veyron, Nico Müller, Rafael Lobato, and Thomas Schmidt then rounding out the top 10 for Nianco Esports. Look how close it was during qualifying. Those were the top 10. And we're going to take a look at the what was the fastest lap in qualifying. And this was delivered by Lasse Sørensen. And the thing that both Mike and I identified, well, Mike identified it before me, was the fact that he did this with no benefit of a driver in front of him. So no slipstream, Mike Rockenfeller. So let's see if we can check in with Lasse Sørensen. Good evening, Lasse. Can you hear me? Clearly not. He's busy answering the fan mail on email as we speak. We can see him in his sim rig there. So yeah, Lasse Sørensen.
It's it's even more amazing the lap he did, or those guys did in the front. Jiri Toman the same, no slipstream. But I think there is a benefit obviously, but there's a downside as well, because when you follow too close, you lose downforce. And there we saw he was really on the edge. It was just the exit of Indy. Car was jumping. I think he almost lost the lap there. So yeah, it's the big difference to the onboard we saw before, where Tom was speaking. It's dark. It's pitch black here in Le Mans, and I love it. I love the sparks, and I love to see the cars at night. Yeah, I think it's going to look great, the racing.
So, yes, there is something ever more romantic about this iconic place when it is dark. You're absolutely right. And, Mike, you've picked up on this. He was absolutely on the edge, wasn't he?
Yeah, just now as well, exit of karting. He clipped this, rubber board, let's say. So he's really on the edge. And, wow, look at that. I mean, that was fantastic. Four-wheel drift. Amazing. He really knows how to handle that beast and calm it down, let's say, and drive it on the edge. That's pole position tonight.
Absolutely. P1 for Lasse Sørensen, then for TK9 E-SPeeD. He gave us a truly entertaining and hugely quick lap to put it on that pole position. So well done to Lasse Sørensen. We've seen who's lining up where. Qualifying.
Yeah, but also Jiri. I mean, Jiri Toman, like you said before, it's just it's almost exactly the same lap time from R8G. Yes. So I'm very excited to see them race tonight.
Yes, I think we're in for some great racing from all of our drivers. It was very, very close during qualifying. So yeah, great stuff indeed. And Lasse Sørensen really delivering when it counted, but as you say, just 3/100ths between P1 and P2.
Good luck.
It means it is going to be very, very tight, and we are but a few seconds away from getting our first event underway. That is going to be coming your way in just 17 seconds from now. Lining up, Lasse Sørensen, Beitski Visa, Nico Müller, Lobato, Senna, Hillebrand, Saavedra, and Veyron. What a lineup then going into quarterfinal one. And you can see Lasse Sørensen is looking pretty confident. Let's wait for the klaxons.
We have to start again, please. We have technical issues.
And
Sorry,
away
guys.
we go then. Green flag flies. And, well, this is going to be very, very exciting. Quarterfinal number 1. And Lasse Sorensen then leading
We have
the
to
way.
restart, guys. Yep. Sorry.
So the race director tells us
I
that
was
we have some
wondering, the
technical
grid was
issues,
messed
Mike.
up, wasn't it?
Okay, that's
Exactly.
a restart, I guess.
We start
So
again.
yeah, let's
Yep.
wait. But
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
it's super tight, and this
No,
is
good. Can
obviously
happen.
the quarterfinal of the pro racers. So it's cool. I just was waiting for the first chicane. At least they made it through the first corner. I don't know who watched the real Le Mans this year, 24 hours. I mean, some guys, they didn't even make it to the first corner, so they did better. But yeah, sometimes in this esports you have some technical issues. But I know we have the best team in the background, and here we see the starting grid again. But yeah, they will fix it, and we just go again.
And whilst we've got this opportunity, let's bring you that grid. P1, Lasse Sorensen, then P2, Beitske Visser, this for the quarterfinal. Then P3, it's Elliot Veyron going from that P3 position with Nico Müller going from P4. Then we see Rafael Lobato and Bruno Senna on the next row. Then it's Nicholas Hillebrand and Chris Overend. Brilliant to welcome Chris Overend into the RCCO World EX Championship and this French EX Prix. And Sebastian Savadra going from P9 on the grid for this, which is going to be the first of the quarterfinals. So with that excellent and supreme team of technical whiz kids, not so much kids, but whizzies, working hard, we are ready to go again. This is going to be quarterfinal 1 then. And as Mike said, all of them getting through the first turn, the first sequence of turns, as they did on almost the rehearsal that we had. We are just 6 seconds away now from this quarterfinal getting underway. Lasse Sorensen then pole position. Let's await the green flag then from the marshal on the right-hand side of the grid. Only when he is advised by race control that it's right to go, we get it flagged away. And let's go racing here in the French EX Prix. Big battle going on for P2 in this quarterfinal already. A little bit of a love tap between the two of them as we head into the first sequence of turns then. Lasse Sorensen trying to escape up the road. 1 or 2 others making for the tarmac runoff areas, but all looking good underneath the Dunlop then, as Lasse Sorensen already has built something of a margin over Veyron and then Visser and Müller and Lobato and Senna and Hillebrand and Overend and Saavedra. And this is Beitske Visser, who we're on board with right now. Goal as a cucumber running in P3 and doesn't want to let, of course, Lasse Sorensen to get too far away. And Veyron needing to try and keep on terms if at all possible. Beitske Visser beginning to reel Veyron in now. You can see the benefits here as Beitske Visser comes out of the slipstream now to the inside. And Beitske Visser takes away that P2 place and relegates Veyron to P3. Nicholas Hillebrand has moved up a place as well through the first chicane, the Vosse chicane. We're on Les Huniades, heading up towards Michelin turns now. And a brilliant, clean and tidy start, Mike Rockefeller.
Yeah, very good. No incidents. That's always what we want to see. And here you see how the race develops. Look at that. That's a perfect view from this camera angle. I mean, Lasse was overtaking. It's still going on. Too wide through the chicane. Lasse has a little bit of a gap. So it looks like, he just has enough to pull away. But after that, I mean, look, P2, P3, P4, Beitske. I mean, they are just changing the positions all the time. Bruno Senna currently P5. Nico Müller somehow, lost some positions. I don't know what happened. Oh, and a big crash.
Oh!
Who was that? That was absolute racing. Lobato. I don't know what happened there, if he lost it on his own. But his race is definitely over. And there we see how quick this, can be done, basically.
Unforgiving, absolutely unforgiving. And there we can see, once you get tagged into the barriers and then across the track and into the other barriers, the other side as well.
So I mean,
Lasse
he just,
Sorensen
had no rear wing, so obviously, nothing he could do. His race was over anyway. So now we see here we have a better angle to see a little bit what's going on. I mean, Lasse obviously is in the front, so he has it under control, entering Porsche corners after the first time now they go through. But I think the more interesting race is going on behind him. We see it's very tight between Beitske, who now is in P2. She made her way up to P2. Great to see. Let's see if, there we see her driving. Very cool, like you said. But obviously we want to see the cars. And there we are, last chicane. Look at that.
And what Beitske presumably needs to do now, Mike, is just get herself sufficiently away from Elliot Veyron so that he doesn't get the benefit of the tow. Because these two were swapping places down the Les Hunaudières straight like you would not believe. Because, of course, as soon as somebody is overtaken, they then get the disadvantage, if you will, of giving the tow to somebody else. So the seesawing effect across P2, P3 and P4, which is where Bruno Senna sits at the moment, P4, and Nicolas Hillebrand, who's done a good job to get into P5. That was really, really exciting to watch. So Beitske Visser then trying to break any tow opportunity that she can to Elliot Veyron. This is the gap between P2 and P3, just 4/10. Let's go on board with Elliot Veyron to see what it looks like as he's chasing down Beitske Visser now. Look at this. And now, Mike, you can really, really see the benefit you get.
Yeah, it's massive. But this ain't over yet. I mean, you will see.
No.
She knows exactly, she will stay there. I mean, those two, all they have to do is not fight each other too hard, because they are in a perfect position to go into the next round. I mean, with P2 and P3, whoever comes P2, doesn't really matter as long as they make it in the top 5. And Bruno Senna has a little bit of a gap, so he's hoping that they continue to fight and he maybe benefit of it, but I think the opposite is happening. I think those two work together now, give each other slipstream, overtake, next straight the other one. Let's see if she goes by on this one now. I imagine so.
Here comes Beitske then, closing in on Elliot Veyron then, and sure enough, as predicted by Mike Rockefeller, well, actually, no, not where we expected it to happen. Let's split the screen then. You can see Beitske at work in the rig then, and also inside the wonderful EX0 car as well. Really are able to stretch their legs, and here comes Beitske Visser once again to the outside, this time of Elliot Veyron, and surely she will go through now. Beitske Visser then and Elliot Veyron trading places throughout the early stages of this quarterfinal one that we're watching now. Just 3 laps, of course, of this very, very long 38-turn Le Mans circuit. And it's Beitske Visser now P2 and Elliot Veyron is P3. Bruno Senna running in P4 and Nicolas Hillebrand in P5. Of course, it is those top 5 places absolutely critical to go through to the next round. And as you say, Mike, it's almost academic who finishes P2, 3, 4 or 5 as long as they are in the top 5.
Exactly, that's where you need to be. And you can see Nico Müller. I don't know what happened there at the beginning. Unfortunately, we couldn't see it. The camera was not on there. But he's like 6 seconds behind P5. So he just needs to hope that somebody makes a mistake. Maybe those two, maybe Beitske, when they fight at the end for P2, maybe there is a mistake and he can benefit from it. But other than that, I think his race, I won't say it's over, but it's tough, to make that ground up again.
Yes, it is a big, big gap to make up. So let's start the final lap now. Lasse Sorensen leading by 2.7 seconds, as you can see the clock on the left-hand side of your screen, and here is Lasse Sorensen then just focused and concentrating and doing everything darned right as he did in terms of setting that pole position lap for this quarterfinal when he was out in qualifying. He is heading Beitske Visser and Elliot Veyron and Bruno Senna and Nicolas Hillebrand. At the moment, if everything stayed the way it is currently, it would be those 5 drivers that would be going through to the next round, but nothing is over until the checkered flag flies, and as Mike says, all it will take is one small problem for either Beitske or maybe Elliot or even Bruno, and then the likes of Savadra, Nico Müller and Overend and Labarto, we know is not going to be, Labarto's not going to be able to take advantage, but Savadra, Overend or Müller could. So let's go on board now with the Elliot Veyron car running in P3, again getting the benefit of the tow from Beitske Visser. And look how close they run together here, really getting the benefit of this. It's almost 2 cars in as one And Biela then, who doing a very, very good job in P2. Now, that's precisely, Mike, what you said could happen.
Yeah, she went wide. I mean, she didn't spin, so at the end of the day, she's giving back the advantage, as you can see, straight away. So there won't be a penalty, but yeah, that's exactly what I said. You know, it can always happen as the tires degrade. So yeah, she was just a little bit too deep into that chicane, into that second chicane.
And Biela now then in the position where she is chasing Elliot Veyron. And here she comes, not only chasing Elliot Veyron to the outside of Elliot Veyron now. So we get this seesaw effect between P2 and P3. And once again, it is Biela, but here comes Elliot Veyron playing back straight away. Brilliant stuff between the two of them here. But of course, what we don't want is for them to get involved in a really, really physical battle, because if there was contact between the two of them, I mean, heavens, the prospect and thought of them going awry, of course, it would play into the hands of the likes of Senna and Hillebrand and potentially Müller and Savadra as well. This is Lasse Sorensen, who is leading by very nearly 5 seconds in this quarterfinal one. And here is Biela running in P3. Chasing down Elliot Veyron right now. This is quarterfinal one of our French EX Prix here from the Le Mans circuit. And the whole event brought to you by TK9 E-SPeeD. And here comes Lasse Sorensen then, heading for home then, and heading for the checkered flag. Lasse Sorensen then, we know how good he is in this wonderful EX0 car, and he proves it now by crossing the timing line and taking the checkered flag. And in the end, it is Elliot Veyron that finishes P2 ahead of Biela then, who banks P3. Then it's Bruno Senna, and ahead of Bruno Senna or just behind Bruno Senna is Nicolas Hillebrand. So they are the 5 that are going through. Regrettably, we will be losing the likes of Nico Müller and then Savadra and Overend. Let's go on board now with Lasse Sorensen then, who has delivered once again. The man is like a machine, and of course, even
nice
better
race,
for him in the
TK9 You had a proper ding-dong race
event as well here at the French EX.
I was trying.
Biela, I rather get the impression, thoroughly enjoyed that, and I think all the drivers did, because it was very, very intense.
That was nice to watch. There was some incident between Hillebrand and
Do we
Müller.
get back to pits probably, or can we take the exit?
That it said race control. There was a warning. So obviously there was some action. That's why there was the gap. But Bruno Senna, he had no toe. I mean, he was alone on his own. There was a small gap, but he maintained that gap. For me, very strong performance from him as well. I'm sure we will see some more action from him. And Lasse, like you said, he's like a machine. I mean, I guess that's what Tom expected also here in Le Mans. I'm sure the pressure is on the home race for them. Let's see if he can survive until the end.
There is undoubted pressure, isn't there? You know, when it is your own promoted event, you want your drivers to do the very best they can. And thus far, of course, Lasse Sorensen has done that. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how nephew Oscar Kristensen copes with the pressure, if you will, of emulating the success that has gone before. I'm sure he'll soak it all up perfectly. He's a fine young man and a real talent. One to keep an eye on for the future. There's no question about that. So really, really enjoyable quarterfinal one that was for our drivers. And it was Lasse Sorensen who was absolutely victorious by a fine margin in the end. And there we can see the E-Space. But here is the result and confirmed result of quarterfinal one, with Lasse Sorensen taking the win ahead of Elliot Veyron and Biela. Then it was Bruno Senna and Nicolas Hillebrand, which means, regrettably, we lose the likes of Nico Müller, Sebastian Saavedra, Chris Overend, and Rafael Lobato. So, Absolute Racing, Esports, Team WRT, Patrick Long Esports, and Nianco Esports, then having not the quarterfinal that they would like. Let's find out a little bit more now about the Danish Dynamite.
Hi there. I am Danish Dynamite. My boss is a hero. I think everybody in our country has heard of Tom Kristensen. When Tom was racing at Le Mans, 40,000 Danish people came to the famous race in France. Denmark was pretty empty. He won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 9 times. Nobody else has done this. That's why Tom called his esports racing team TK9. Many of his wins came with number 7, it looks like this number brings me luck too. I'm so proud I became the first winner of an EX Prix. My driver, Lasse, just knows what I need to be fast. He won 5 races to date and we clinched the team's world championship in our first season in the virtual world. Unbelievable. And we are doing this for a good purpose because we are racing for the climate, supporting Klimarådet. Next on our schedule is Le Mans, Tom's living room. Hopefully Lasse and I will make Tom smile. Please keep the fingers crossed for us. I can't wait electrify Le Mans.
Esports quarterfinal then. Jiri Toman going from P1 with Devin Browner alongside. Keep your eyes on Jack Keithley then for Williams Esports. He goes from P3. Then it is Rory McDuff going from P4 ahead of Thomas Schmidt and Zaifai Lee with Oscar Christensen with work to do, it has to be said, and Mikael Niemas then. Another big name from the world of esports racing in the RCCO World EX Championship here in France at the French EX Prix. We are at Le Mans. And we are but 15 seconds away from the start of this quarterfinal. Top 5 once again going through. And very much looking forward to this. Jiri Toman has already shown us just how good he is during the free practice sessions. Hold on to your hats and any other loose clothing that you may have. We're about to go racing. And the green flag is waved away, and Jiri Toman with a very, very good start. So too, Keithley with a good start too. 3 abreast we go into the first turn. This could all end in strife for somebody, and I think it's Devin Browner that's off. And also, that was a strife for Toman as well, I believe. So Devin Browner being called out in there, and one of the big beneficiaries is Oscar Christensen. I got called out wrong. It wasn't Toman. Toman's escaped up the road. But Christensen is up to P3. We get the green flags waving and flying. Devin Browner P2. And let's go on board now with Oscar Christensen, who was able to take advantage of everything that was going on in front of him. And what a great job he has done in navigating his way through as we go 3 abreast. Once again, we go almost 4 abreast. Mike Roggenfeller, I can't cope with this. This is superb stuff.
Yeah, very unusual what happened there. Normally the esport guys, they don't have these kind of issues in the first, let's say, 2-3 corners. But like you said, look at that. Oscar Christensen leading the race all of a sudden. I mean, this thing is not over yet, but what a move. He came pretty much from the last row and is the leader of the race. And wow, they were almost 4 wide on the straight. I mean, look at that. 4 cars battling it out. They need to calm down now. They need to calm down a little bit, guys. Come on. There's still, still 2.5 laps to go. And the top 4, they have a big gap. So they have to stay calm and realize where they are and now fight it out. Who's the winner in the quarterfinal.
Not very often I disagree with you, Mike, but bring it on as far as I'm concerned. Don't calm down at all. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. So Devin Browner then is leading, and he looks pretty comfortable, I have to say. And it's Thomas Schmidt who's up to P2 now, having get the benefit of the draft from Oscar Christensen, who was relegated to P3, and Oscar Christensen with Jiri Toman for good company as well. A 4-way fight for the lead of this race. I mean, we couldn't script it even better if we tried. So Thomas Schmidt then, who leads this race. We're on board with Devin Browner now, who's chasing down our race leader, Thomas Schmidt, the Nianco Esports driver being chased by Devin Browner. Stay in and trying to stay in on terms is Jiri Toman and Oscar Christensen, and Jack Keithley is in that P5 position. So if everything stopped right now, he would go through. Look at this for an overtake. getting the benefit of the big toe that's known here. And Schmidt then, he is in the number 28 car. Devin Browner into the lead now. Thomas Schmidt, he's going to try and get the benefit as well. What Devin Browner needs to do now is try and break that toe gap if he can. Increase the gap, increase the margin as much as he can, because it has been something of a four-way fight for the lead of this quarterfinal. Superb stuff. Oscar Christensen steadfast in P4 at the moment. Devin Browner steadfast in leading. Gets just a bit of a wobble. In fact, all of them do, coming out of the exit of the final Ford chicane and then onto the start-finish straight. And right now, heading, of course, into Dunlop and then to the S's. So brilliant stuff from Devin Browner, who currently leads from Thomas Schmidt for Nianco Esports. It's WRT leading Nianco Esports. And Mike, I think you're right. I think they've listened to you. They're calming down just a little bit now.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, there's, you know, Devin Browner is pulling away slightly, but the other three, there will be a lot of fighting going on. But if we see on the timing monitor, correct, P5, Lee and Keithley, there it's not over yet as well. It's only 5/10 or 4/10 they are apart, and that is the crucial spot, obviously, in quarterfinal 2 here. So let's see what happens there, who can make it. And now Lee just overtook, so he's in P5, and in the background we just saw, now we are here on board with Kristensen, who is currently P4, and yeah, those guys, I'm sure they have a lot of fun right now.
Oh, I think you're right. Be enjoying every moment of it, and you did well to pick up on the Lee-Keithley battle, of course. That really is the critical one. Who finishes P1, 2, 3 is almost academic, isn't it? And here we can see that Jack Keithley and Devin Browner, for causing a collision, a 10-second time penalty, Mike. So a 10-second time penalty is going to be awarded there. That's the message from race control. Of course, that will be applied at the end of the race. In the meantime, Devin Browner has built a 1.5-second gap in the lead of the race. Meantime, Thomas Schmidt and Kristensen still fighting very, very fiercely over the P2 place. Mikael Niemas and Zai-Fi Lee, another collision, but that is only a warning, so no penalty has been awarded, and Mikael Niemas is currently running in P7. So the top 5 then, the critical top 5, Devin Browner from Jiri Toman, then Thomas Schmidt, Oscar Christensen, and Jack Keithley in that P5 position at the moment, but do bear in mind penalties to be awarded. So this is the RCCO World EX Championship coming to you from Le Mans, where the racing action has been absolutely brilliant. Can't believe we are on lap 2 of 3 already, and Oscar, whoa, what happened there, Mike?
Yeah, he just lost it, and I thought, you know, he took it a bit easy on the entry. It looked good, but then on the exit he had a little bit of an oversteer. Then the tank slapper went to the right, and I think maybe he touched slightly the wall, but you know, he caught it, and he's still okay. I mean, now, you know, he just, you know, has to stay calm. He has a big gap behind, so it should be okay if the car is still in one piece.
It's the absolutely critical thing, isn't it? Being able to catch it, the tank slapper. The car is looking perhaps a little bit more wayward than I would think. It might just be that Oscar is really, really pushing now to try and get on terms with Thomas Schmidt, but as you say, with his gap that he's got, he doesn't lead.
Sorry, I really would like to see the fight also for P5, because I don't know if Devin Browner gets a 10-second penalty, but he is actually okay by that. If it is him getting a 10-second penalty, he's still in, because he has a 12-second margin or 13-second margin to Lee.
Yeah.
And now we are on board with Keithley, who is just in front of Lee, and we saw the steering was bended. The steering was definitely bended to the left. As we can see maybe now, yeah, look at it. Look when he's going straight. So there must have been quite an incident, I guess, in turn 1 when they all crashed. And he's fighting like hell.
He's fighting.
Just, you know,
yeah,
to stay in front. What a shame, because I think he was one of the quickest. He came in first race, Williams Esports, and really, really quick guy. So let's see if he can make it. And for Lee as well. Look. Now he
race
him
control,
back.
I got a
Last
penalty
lap.
for cut tracks, even though that's not supposed to happen.
Who is first of those two
just ignore it.
on start finish?
And it's critical, isn't it? It's strategically, you've got to be in a position to be able to take advantage of the last time of that slipstream, because that's when you can do that overtake and make it count. So We are on the last lap now. Zai-Fai Lee and Jack Keithley, then just a tenth and a half between the two of them. It's the battle going on here for the final place that goes through to the next round in this RCCO World EX Championship. We're live from Le Mans. This is the French EX Prix, and you're watching the fight for the final qualifying place. This is Zai-Fai Lee then, who we can see inside his rig right now. At the moment, able to show a clean pair of heels to Jack Keithley, who, as Mike has identified, is struggling with the steering now. But here comes Jack Keithley out of the slipstream, not quite close enough, perhaps, to be able to.
Yeah, he waits. Ooh. He waits. Now this next straight, it's the place where he needs to get him. And how cool is that? He's, you know, we saw Lee sitting in China, you know, racing here at Le Mans. That's awesome. And I think now we just missed the overtaking, but let's see. There's a good battle with Oscar Christensen, who is currently P3. Thomas Schmidt, wow, he's throwing it in. Oh, I don't know if he made a mistake. I think he lost a little bit of time there, momentum. Wow, that's a cool battle. That's very. It
is a cool battle,
and we see Keithley overtook Lee.
Exactly as you predicted. What you didn't predict, or what you kind of advised Oscar Christensen to do, was just to take it easy, and he hasn't done that. He's got back onto Thomas Schmidt, and Schmidt goes around, Mike. Schmidt has gone around. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
He's lost the rear wing. Can he nurse that car back?
I don't think so.
Oh, here comes Keithley and Lee. Oh, what a nightmare.
Oh, there's Devin Brown crossing start finish. Easy. He had a nice and easy one after the first turn once he survived. Good job by him.
You have no worry.
Jiri Toman also very strong R8G. And then Oscar Christensen. Great result for TK9. P1 in the first quarterfinal and now P3. And then great result with Keithley, you know, with the bended steering. And Lee made it as well because, unfortunately, for the Yanko eSport, Thomas Schmidt, just made a, unfortunately, mistake. Battling too hard for P3.
That was such a shame, such a shame. Never want to see that happen, but of course it does from time to time. And well done to Browner, Toman, Christensen, Keithley, and Zai-Fai Lee. And cars pointing in all sorts of directions now as we complete that quarter-final two. Wow. Well, if you wanted great race entertainment, then you found it. You are in the right place. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And for TK9 E-SPeeD, of course, an absolutely fantastic result for them, having done it in both of the quarter-finals. And it seems like an appropriate time, if you will, to have another film from TK9 E-SPeeD. And this particular film is all about one young Mr. Oscar Christensen.
Well, yeah, hey, I'm Oscar. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Denmark. I drive karting on a daily basis, driving with the team ACER competition here in Denmark. At the moment, I'm driving the European and German and Danish championship in Rotax. And so far, it's been all right. Also, I'm driving the World X, getting faster and faster. I think with 1,000 horsepower is a lot. It's hard to handle, but it's a good car. I think, when you master it really fast. I just saw a lot about the ETCR.
We take this 25 seconds time penalty from your time.
We also have just the normal TCR in Denmark, but I heard the commentators on Danish TV said it's about 5 years maybe the changes is coming. Like in karting, actually, there's the Rotax I'm driving. They have come up with a electric kart. That's also it's faster actually than our motors. So of course the world is changing, and something I'm open to drive electric cars also. So my aim is to be able to live of racing cars, have income from that.
Check, you are out. So you got a 10-second time penalty for the first corner.
For me,
you're on P7.
It's most important to be around a team that I have fun with. be around in a car where I'm comfortable with everything. For me, Le Mans could be very, very, very fun to also have a teammate, to not be the only one deciding what's going on, but also DTM, where I'm the one. All the time I can remember, been on the racetracks where my dad drove around in Denmark. The little brother for Tom, he's been driving too. He's an amateur world champion 2 times actually. My granddad also drove a lot, was one of the European best. So that's family history.
What a wonderful film. Wasn't it great to see that Opel Ascona so far sideways? Brilliant. Result confirmed. Quarterfinal 2. Devin Browner, P1. Jiri Toman, P2. Oscar Christensen, P3. Zi-Fi Lee, P4. Then it was Rory McDuff, P5, which means we lose Mikael Niemas, Jack Keithley, and Thomas Schmidt. So there, the confirmed results of Quarterfinal 2. And what a quarterfinal it was as well. Up next, then, it's going to be the semi-final, Mike. And if the semi-finals are anything like the quarterfinals we've seen, bring it on.
Yeah, and I was wrong because I wasn't sure about this action in corner 1. So race control decided to give a 10-second penalty to Keithley, who basically lost his spot now. And Devin Browner actually was, how do you say? He was not causing the collision. He actually lost by it and still won the race because I think he just spun and made it back in the right direction and was lucky to win and then, or not to win, lucky to be still in a position to fight for victory, and then he was pulling off. So great race, and let's continue like that.
Semi-final on its way then, and we are in the team space of TK9 E-SPeeD as we race for the climate, of course, with the RCCO World EX Championship. The 2 TK9 E-SPeeD's drivers are through then, Oscar Christensen and Lasse Sørensen, 1 esports driver, of course, and 1 pro driver. It was great to hear from Oscar Christensen and what his ambitions and aspirations are, if you will, for the future, and of course are very much on side with racing for the climate as well, as all our participants are, which is great to see. Okay, just 10 seconds away then, going from pole position, Lasse Sørensen, Devin Browner, P2. Of course, only 2 are going to make it through. Hold on, there is the grid in full. We are about to go racing. Held for quite a time then by the Star Marshals. We do get the green flag now. Lasse Sørensen immediately putting it into the P1 position ahead of Devin Browner. So many drivers to watch here, including Oscar Christensen, who's made a place up and lost a place and made a place and lost a place as he fights with Bajski Visser then. And now loses out also to Nicholas Hillebrand and Zi-Fi Lee. And, well, there's a long way to go. Well, I say a long way to go, 2 laps. So let's go on board then, as we can see how the drivers are reacting in the early stages of this. And Lasse Sørensen is doing what he's always done before, and that is just try and build up something of a margin straight away. Sørensen from Browner. Then it's Toman and Veyron and Bajska Visser ahead of Bruno Senna. And here comes the slipstream at work then as they head down Le Junia Diaz into the first chicane then. And it's a 4-way fight for P1 at the moment. Sørensen only just 2/10 ahead of anyone else, so this is far from over yet. On board with the number 31 car of Devin Browner then, who is running in that P3 place at the moment. And Jiri Toman then pulls out of the slipstream to go by Lasse Sørensen, immediately diving back into the slipstream. And Devin Browner trying to get involved, and so is Elliot Veyron as well. And it's all change into the second chicane. And this is what we can expect for the next 2 laps, isn't it?
Are you on it?
I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm just holding my breath. Man,
I also didn't have a chance to set my
look at that.
regen and brake
Look at
bias and
this
stuff.
kind of racing
It was
here.
super weird.
Amazing. Just amazing. I just hope it stays clean and nobody, we don't see an accident somehow. But it's just phenomenal. Look at the slipstream. Look at the toe there. And it's changing. It will keep changing. Like you hear, I don't know what to say. It's just crazy what those guys are doing out there.
Oh, look at this. On board with Devin Browner. Look, they're taking to the grass. Not happy with the tarmac. They want to use the glass as well. When you and Thomas Moat designed this competition, did you ever think that racing would be this good? Absolutely brilliant stuff. It has played into the hands a little bit of Lasse Sorensen at the moment as the drivers pile on the opposite lock to try and control the cars. I think that was through Arnage. My goodness me, what a semi-final we've got in front of us now. Brilliantly exciting, and Lasse Sorensen is not able to break away from Jiri Toman. Look how hard he is working.
The game gave you
absolutely awesome. Jiri Toman is determined to keep on terms with Lasse Sorensen. Look at this. Brilliant stuff. Lasse Sorensen leading from Jiri Toman then. Just 6/10 between them. But don't rule out Devin Browner, Bijtske Visser, Elliot Veyron. Altogether completely different ways and styles of driving between Lasse Sorensen and Jiri Toman. 1 lap done, which means only 1 lap left to run, Mike. Hold on.
Yeah. It's so cool. I hope Jiri stays close to Lasse, which it looks like. And I mean, look, Bruno Senna, P6, just 3 seconds behind the leader. They are all fighting. Everybody's fighting up until P7. Hillebrand, they are all very, very close to each other. Bijtske Visser, P4. I mean, they are all on the edge, and let's see what happens now. Here we are on board Jiri Toman. Now he will get close. He will get close here.
But
I think he should wait. He should wait.
You can rule no one out. He's not going to take any notice of you, Mike. He's going to go for it. And Jiri Toman, he goes by Lasse Sorensen. Of course, Sorensen will now get the benefit of that. I wouldn't have done that, says Mike Rockefeller. Hey, who are we to argue with you? You've won more than a few races in your superb career, which continues, of course. And now Sorensen does exactly as you predicted. Of course, he is able to get the toe off of Jiri Toman and therefore finds himself back in that P1 position again. Now, Devin Browner at the moment is not able to quite get on terms. And the reason for that is Devin Browner is having to defend from the hard-charging Bijtske Visser. So this is far from all over yet. But of course, it's a real shootout. It's a real dash for cash because there's only 2 laps. And here comes Jiri Toman again on Lasse Sorensen. Was that the right time to do it, Mike?
Well, I think Lasse will get him back now. But those two, they know if they are 1-2, it's going to be okay, right? They will be in the final at the end. But look at Bijtske. I think Bijtske can finish P3. Because that's the last straightaway, let's say, before Indianapolis. And here we see Lasse Sorensen just made the move, so that should be it. He should be fine if he makes no mistake here in Arnage now after Indy. We will see that. Or maybe Toman tries before Porsche corner another move.
Wow, let's see then. Let's see how it plays out then. Oh, and at the back end of the car just stepping out a little bit here, and it's brilliant to be able to see the shots of the drivers are hard at work inside their sims as well. The fight continuing between Devin Browner and Bijtske Visser, where there are but 2-3 between them, and now Lasse Sorensen once again puts himself into P1, Jiri Toman relegated to P2, and as Mike has said, it kind of matters not. It's the top 2, of course, that will be going through. But for the moment, it is the pro driver leading the esports driver. But I say for the moment because it has been changing and changing. It's a big pile of control there for Jiri Toman to hold on to the car as he gets ever closer to Lasse Sorensen now. What a superb semi-final we have enjoyed and are enjoying. All over the chicane curbs then as Jiri Toman was almost determined to put it alongside Lasse Sorensen.
Well.
Absolutely brilliant race from Lasse Sorensen. Jiri Toman, they are P1 and P2 ahead of Devin Browner. Bijtske Visser. And then it's going to be Sci-Fi Lee that finishes in P5 ahead of Oscar Christensen. And then Hillebrand and DNFs for the likes of Veyron and Bruno Senna in the end. So I don't know quite what happened to them, but there was so much going on. We didn't really have a chance to find out. But wow, that was exciting stuff indeed. So the car's cooling down and back into the paddock. Right, we're going to try again to speak to Lasse Sørensen once again. Lasse, I don't know whether you can hear me or not, but I just want to say thank you to you for delivering such great entertainment. What a star you are, Lasse.
Lap 2.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Le Mans is always a good track for good racing. So, yeah, it's amazing to drive, and it's so fun to race around in these cars.
Bit of a progress here.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Super happy to race around, and hopefully we can make it all the way to the final.
Well, Lasse, thank you so much. I don't know what you said and whether it was complimentary about Mike and myself or not, but I hope it was, because there's me and Mike with our head in our hands, because we could see you moving your lips and it looked like you were smiling. So hopefully you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed talking about it, because Mike, that was awesome.
That was absolutely awesome. All the 3 races we have seen were fantastic.
What were your P5?
But this one, I mean, I was really holding my breath when there were like 4, 5, 6 cars at the beginning all together. And here we see the result.
Here is confirmation of the result. Lasse Sørensen then. Jiri Toman, P1 and P2, ahead of Devin Brown and Beitske Visser, Zai-Fai Lee, Oscar Christensen, Nicholas Hillebrand, Rory McDuff, Elliot Veyron, and Bruno Senna. Well done to all of you for bringing such a fantastic race to us. Let's find out now a bit more about Lasse Sørensen. What a star.
I always have the green climate thing in my mind, and I also love to be a part of RCCO and World EX, because I think the goal and ambition for the championship is great, and I think it's totally different compared to other championships too, and that's really enjoyable to be a part of. I started learning the car quite quickly, and then all the practice I did in the beginning was really helped me to how to understand like the battery stuff and the regen stuff. I think the battery regeneration is an important thing in this car, and also it affects how the car drives in the corners. Obviously, it was really hard to lose the last final, if you can say it like this. But that's a part of the game, and you have to be strong throughout the whole season, but you also have to be really on point in the last race, and you do your best in every race, and that's what I like about this championship. So yeah, obviously it's hard to lose the super final or the big final, but I was super happy for the whole season and the amount of wins I had. I have known both Tom and his son Oliver and his family for 10 years, I think. So it was quite obvious when they wanted to go into eSport. They contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do it, and obviously yes, I would always help Tom, and he's a fantastic guy and enjoyable to be together with. So obviously that was a big yes. Even though he is sitting in a different country or whatever he's doing, he's always on the phone and watching the races and on WhatsApp doing that. Oh, that was a good qualifying, or that was a nice race. So he is following really, really closely. And now I have been out of real racing for just about over a year. Hopefully next year I can get back in a real car. But one important point is I will still do all the esports stuff as much as I can.
And back into the TK9 E-SPeeD space as well here at Le Mans. And the result of the semi-final confirmed then. Lasse Sørensen, who we've just heard from, taking P1. And that is the grid, of course, for our final to come then. Lasse Sørensen ahead of Jiri Toman. Good to hear from Lasse then. And, of course, when Tom Kristensen asks you to race for his team, kind of the answer is always going to be yes. But what's also nice is the fact that he reinforces the fact that Tom could be in a completely different country. He's still watching, he's still observing, and he's still advising.
Yeah, definitely. And also what maybe many people don't know, his brother Marco Sørensen, you know, real world racer, very successful guy, cool guy as well. So yeah. It's amazing to listen to him and to see more insights. I think that's what we all want to see. You know, we want to see the human side. We want to hear and see who they are. And here we go.
And the final is on then. Lasse Sørensen, Jiri Toman. Then side by side, it's Sørensen with the first run into corner number 1 in the lead. He has this P1 position. But surely, it's all going to be who gets the benefit of the slipstream right at the end of the 2-lap shootout. Let's see then as Lasse Sørensen and Jiri Toman then go side by side. And Jiri Toman goes through now to a lead for the esports racers. But here comes Lasse Sørensen fighting back. Bear in mind that Jiri Toman then driving for the ACER VERO R8G team. And of course the host of this event, the TK9 E-SPeeD driver Lasse Sørensen, coming back at Jiri Toman now. And it's all about strategy, isn't it, Mike? We know how quick these guys are. They are super efficient racing drivers. Surely it's a count back to who is going to get the benefit of that slipstream towards the end.
You're absolutely right. There's not much to add. I think we will see a lot of overtaking here until the last lap, until the last moment. And those two, they really deserve to be in the final here tonight. They have been quick in quali, and they did a perfect job in the races, and here we are.
Well, absolutely, I concur with everything that you have said. For the moment, it is Jiri Toman leading Lasse Sørensen. Another really important point that Lasse said in that film as he goes for the overtake now on Jiri Toman was that whatever he does in his real-world racing career, he's certainly not stopping the esports racing because he absolutely loves it, and it is so competitive and so enjoyable. So they hold on and send one of the chicane-marking bollards for a flying spin then as Lasse Sørensen leads from this man, Jiri Toman, then P1 and P2 at the moment. But as Mike said, it's going to be a question of who gets it last, who is able to take advantage of that slipstream for the final time in the final lap as to who is going to be victorious, I suggest, in this final. So Jiri Toman and Lasse Sørensen. Lasse Sørensen, what you go on board with now. It was really interesting to hear that conversation with Lasse. Such a grounded individual, and really nice to hear about Marco as well. So now he pulls out from the slipstream of Jiri Toman as they go side by side once again. Good, healthy, respectful racing between the two of them. Not a panel has been touched yet, and you can see that Lasse just taking a look at the inside of Lasse Sørensen. Discretion the better part of valor at the moment, as they are so close and so evenly matched as they have been throughout the evening as well. And when you're racing at these speeds around such a demanding circuit like this one, it's so important to have respect and confidence in your opposition as well, Mike. And that is so important because these drivers are racing on the edge.
Oh yeah, it looks a lot. Oh, we see a lot of bollards and stuff flying around. It looks easy, but it's just the opposite. Especially following each other so close. You break 1 meter too late, and you underestimate maybe the slipstream you have and the speed you have because of that, and you make a mistake and you touch the other one and you turn him around, you get a penalty, race over. And they are just superb.
They have been an absolute joy to watch, and we're far from over yet. Although we are starting the final lap between these two drivers then. So it is Jiri Toman leading Lasse Sørensen at the moment, but we don't feel like it's going to stay that way necessarily before the whole thing is repeated once again. Here comes Lasse Sørensen then getting the benefit of the toe to the outside of Jiri Toman, then closing the door. Wow, that
very
immediately,
aggressive.
That
Yes.
was aggressive. You're right, through the chicane.
He's trying to show, who's the boss here, but I don't know if Jiri accepts that.
No, I just really rather think that he probably won't. And Lasse was very honest in saying how disappointing it was, but how respectful he was to the championship winner last year, because Lasse, of course, on his dominance throughout the season, you would have expected him to be a shoe-in slam dunk for the win of the championship, but it wasn't to be. And therefore, he wants to right the wrongs of that championship from last year, in his opinion, and try and put it all right this year. Here comes Jiri Toman now on Lasse Sørensen. And it's like another coat of paint on the back of the Lasse Sørensen car. So close is Jiri Toman, but he's just biding his time, Mike. Is he being very clever here?
I think, yes, the question is now, I mean, Lasse knows obviously what he's trying.
Yes.
I guess he wants to go now before Indianapolis and then try to defend. We have seen it's hard to make the move. And now he goes for it on the outside. Is it enough? Yes, it's enough. Lasse again, aggressive. Again to the slipstream. And maybe he tries again. So now Lasse is back in the lead. And now he knows he can defend until Porsche. And Jiri knows he needs to be really on his rear end on the bumper to have a go now. Lasse brakes early, tries to have a good exit, big oversteer, and now he's trying left, right, and Jiri is there, and now we will see a move. I'm sure we will see something here. Yes,
sure
he goes
enough.
to the inside.
Jiri.
They touch.
There is a little touch between the two of them.
It's not over yet. And Lasse is pushing hard, but Jiri is so cool. That was crazy.
What a race! What a race between these two. Jiri Toman is leading Lasse Sorensen. Sorensen is getting a bit wayward now. Who is it going to be that's going to cross the line first? It could go either way at the moment. Jiri Toman has got it. Lasse Sorensen right on his tail. Into the chicane they go. And this is the final opportunity surely for Lasse Sorensen. Jiri Toman has done enough. And he takes it. Absolutely brilliant race.
Good race, Jiri.
Look at him. He's like, yeah, that was okay. Not too bad.
Yeah, that was fun.
Look at him.
That's great.
That was amazing.
Oh, goodness me. Do you know what? I've commentated on some races. Flipping heck, that was good. That was good.
That was really good. Wow.
There is Lasse Sorensen. And what was really, really nice, the very first person to congratulate Jiri was Lasse Sorensen.
Yes. I mean, that they are all fair sportsmen, and Lasse got the 1 point for the quickest lap here. So and here we are with the winner. Look at it. What a nice livery they have.
Yeah, what a race. What an evening. What an event this has been. The RCCO World EX Championship going from strength to strength. My goodness me, that was really, really good to watch. And really good to talk about as well. Heart in the mouth stuff then, from a commentary point of view, let alone trying to drive it. Jiri Toman, Jiri, I hope you can hear me. If you knew, I mean, I'm 67 years of age already. You've just put 10 years on me as commentator because that was a brilliant race. Well done to you, Jiri.
Thank you.
Mike Rockefeller said, you can just tell from the way that you drive that you are a cool, understated man of few words, and you have proven that. I mean, was it all a question? Had you got it worked out in your mind strategically when you were going to go for that last overtake, Jiri?
Yeah, I knew that the slipstream is basically everything in this race, so it was all about the last step, and it was just, I didn't know where I should go, like in which corner I should be second or first, but I saw that for Lasse it worked last time to be ahead in front of the Indianapolis chicane, so I tried the same strategy as before, just to be a little closer to him, and I could preserve the tires a little more in the final. So I had a good run on him, and after the Porsche curves, it's basically impossible to overtake back. So it was pretty easy to defend the win.
Well, Lasse Sorensen, I have to say, Lasse, we were trying to speak earlier on, and you could hear me, and I couldn't hear you. My hat is doffed to you, friend, because you were the first to congratulate Jiri Toman. I mean, that was such a brilliant race for us to watch and to commentate. Well done to you, Lasse.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was an enjoyable race, and it was so fun to race Jiri around Le Mans here. He got me in the end, which is how it is. I mean, when you have such an amount of slipstream, you have to do something different on the last lap compared to what you did the laps before. So I tried to do my thing, but didn't work out, and that's how it is.
Yeah, but you're very humble about it, and I really, really respect that, Lasse. And I'll tell you what, keep doing what you are doing, because you are driving brilliantly and entertaining us as well. And of course, I did say earlier on, Lasse, that you've got even more motivation this year than ever before, because, you know, you were so unlucky when it came to the championship last year. You know, I would have had 20 euros on you taking it if I'd got 20 euros, which I don't have. But you didn't take it in the end, so you need to do it this year.
Yeah, I'll put all the practice into making the last final win. So we have to get it this time.
Well, driving the way you are driving at the moment, no one would bet against it. But you have some stiff competition, as we've seen tonight, from the likes of Jiri Toman and many other drivers as well. The winner is Jiri Toman, and what a fantastic night of racing it has been. If we needed a showroom for the RCCO World EX Championship like never before, we have had one tonight. Brilliant racing, brilliant entertainment. From my side, Mike Rockenfeller, this man has really shone tonight. Jiri Toman, really cool, really understated. The one-word answer in my first interview with him just summed him up. Cool as a cucumber, I would suggest, Mike.
Definitely. I enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody involved in this project. I think we can be very proud. Very cool racing, great drivers, and yeah, I can't wait to see the next round. Dave.
No, so looking forward to that. And of course, you and I back together again for the next round. Really looking forward to it. Even if it's half as good as this one has been, it's going to be spectacular. Please do us a favor. Tell all your friends about the RCCO World EX Championship and the fact that we are racing for the climate. And by racing, we're not playing at it. We are delivering humdinger of races, just like we've seen tonight at the Le Mans circuit with the event with TK9 E-SPeeD. And Jiri Toman has been victorious. And there you can see the trophy for the Jiri Toman team of ACER VERO R8G. And here is confirmation of the result. Jiri Toman P1, Lasse Sorensen P2. Taking P3 across the event, Devin Browner ahead of Beitske Vissa. Rory McDuff and Zi-Fi Lee, P5 and P6. It's Oscar Christensen and Nicholas Hillebrand, P7 and P8. Elliot Veyron, P9, and Bruno Senna, P10. Incidentally, first time Oscar Christensen into the top 10. So well done, Oscar. What a talented young man you are. And in the World EX Championship, Vero 8-8 then by 1 point over Danish Dynamite. So ACER VERO R8G leading TK9 E-SPeeD by but a point. And, well, that just proves how close it is in the RCCO World EX Championship. And from my side, Mike Rockenfeller, it's always a privilege and a pleasure to be alongside you. And I have to say, I've enjoyed tonight more than a little.
I agree with you, Dave. Thank you so much. And hopefully you all had a lot of fun, and we see you all back next time.